My name is Daniel. I grew up in a small town in the Midwest, one of those places where everyone waves, even if they don't know you. After college, I didn't work out. I moved back home. Money was tight, and the only place hiring was the old Sinclair gas station off County Road 9. It sat just outside town. No houses nearby, no businesses, just trees and road. The owner told me during the interview, night shift is quiet, easy money. That should have been my first warning. I started the night shift in early October. My hours were from 11 at night until 7 in the morning. No overlap, no backup, just me and whatever pulled in. The first few nights were normal. Truckers, a couple late-night commuters, someone buying cigarettes and coffee. But around my fourth night, something changed. At around 12:30 a.m., the store went quiet. Too quiet. No cars. No insects hitting the windows. Even the highway noise faded. I remember checking the clock behind the counter. It said 12:37 a.m. The lights flickered once. Just once. Then the automatic door chimed. I looked up. No one was there. The door slowly closed by itself. I laughed it off, told myself it was just pressure from outside. But then I noticed something. The security mirror above the coffee machine, it wasn't reflecting the back of the store. It was dark, like the lights weren't on back there. I turned around. Everything was lit, perfectly normal. When I looked back at the mirror, it was normal again. I didn't tell anyone. The next night, the same thing happened. But this time, there was a car, an old sedan, dark colored, maybe black. It pulled into pump number 4 at exactly 12:37 a.m., same time as the night before. The driver never got out. The headlights stayed on, high beams, pointed directly at the front window. I waited. 30 seconds, 1 minute, 2 minutes, nothing. I stepped outside. The air felt heavy, like right before a storm. I knocked on the driver's window. No response. The inside of the car was dark. No dashboard lights. No movement. Then the headlights shut off. At the same time, the engine turned on. The car pulled away without paying. I wrote it down in the incident log. The owner didn't ask about it. The third night, the car came back. Same pump, same time, 12:37 a.m. This time, the driver's door opened, but no one stepped out. The door just hung there, open. I stood behind the counter, watching, waiting. Then the door slowly closed by itself, and the car stayed there, idling. I don't know why, but I checked the security cameras. Camera 3 faced the pumps. On the screen there was no car. The pump was empty. But when I looked up, the car was right there. I didn't sleep much after that. By the end of the first week, I noticed patterns. The car only came on nights I worked. Always the same time. Always silent. Never a driver. And every time it left, I felt colder. Like it took something with it. One night, I noticed muddy footprints. They started at pump 4 and led straight to the bathroom door. But the bathroom was locked from the inside. I unlocked it. Empty. No window. No ceiling access. Just mud on the floor, leading nowhere. At around 2:40 a.m., the radio behind the counter turned on by itself. Static. Then a voice. Low. Distorted. Still open. I unplugged it. The voice kept going. From the speakers, still open, I grabbed my keys. I was ready to leave. Then the automatic doors opened. The car was inside. Not crashed. Not broken. Just parked. Right in the middle of the store. Headlights off. Engine running. I couldn't breathe. The smell of gasoline filled the air. Then the driver's side door opened. Slowly, something stepped out. I never saw a face, just a shape. Tall. Wrong. Like it was learning how to stand. It didn't walk. It slid. Toward the counter. Every step, the lights flickered. I backed away. My foot hit the storage door. I slammed it shut. Locked it. Inside the storage room, it was dark. No phone signal. No sound. Just my breathing. Then knocking. Slow. Deliberate. From the other side of the door. 3 knocks. Pause. 3 more. A voice whispered through the metal. Clock out. I didn't answer. The knocking stopped. After a long time, I opened the door. The store was normal. No car. No smell. No mud. Just silence. The owner never answered my calls. I quit 2 days later and moved out of town. I thought it was over. Last month, I was driving late at night, a long stretch of highway. I checked the time, 12:37 a.m. My headlights caught something ahead. A gas station. Old. Abandoned. Pump number 4 still standing. And parked beside it, a dark sedan. Idling. Waiting. I didn't stop, and didn't slow down, but as I passed, my radio turned on. Static. Then my own voice. Low. Distorted. Still open. I don't work night shift anymore. No one ever found out what really happened at that gas station. The owner disappeared. The building burned down. Police reports say electrical failure. No bodies, no answers, and no one has ever figured out why the incident log was still being updated. Every night at 12:37 a.m. I worked the night shift at a small emergency call center on the outskirts of the city. It wasn't the kind of place you see in movies. No flashing lights, no constant chaos. Most nights were quiet, too quiet. I preferred it that way. My shift started at 11 p.m. and ended at 7 a.m. in the morning. I'd been there long enough to know one thing for sure. Nothing good ever happens after 3 a.m. That's when the calls slow down. That's when the building feels empty. That's when your mind starts filling in gaps it normally ignores. That night started like any other. I clocked in, poured myself a cup of burnt coffee, put on my headset. The call floor was dim. Only half the lights were on. Rows of empty desks stretched out in front of me. 4 operators were scheduled, 2 called in sick. 1 left early. By midnight, I was alone. I didn't mind. The first few hours passed normally. A wrong number. Someone locked out of their car. A guy convinced someone was breaking into his house until he realized it was a raccoon. Normal calls. Then, at 3:14 a.m., the phone rang. Not the usual line, a different indicator lit up on my screen. An internal extension. That alone was strange. Internal lines were almost never used at night. I answered. Emergency services, what's your situation? Silence. I waited. Hello, can you hear me? Breathing. Slow, shallow, like someone was trying not to make a sound. Then a woman spoke. Her voice was barely a whisper. Please, I need help. I sat up straight. Ma'am, what's your emergency? She hesitated. I think someone is outside my door. I began typing notes. Okay, where are you located? She gave me an address. The moment she said it, my stomach dropped. It was my address, not my home. The call center. I told myself I misheard her. I'm sorry, can you repeat that? She did. Same address. Same building. Same street. I looked around the dark room. Empty desks. Silent monitors. No movement. Ma'am, are you inside the building? Yes. My fingers hovered over the keyboard. This building is closed to the public, I said. Are you an employee? Another pause. I work nights. There was something wrong with how she said it. Too calm, too practiced. Which department? I asked. She didn't answer. Instead, he's standing outside my door. My heart started pounding. Who is he? I don't know, she whispered. He doesn't knock. I muted my mic and listened. Nothing. No footsteps. No doors. No voices. I unmuted. I don't see any alarms triggered, I said. Which room are you in? The old call room. Cold spread through my chest. There was no old call room anymore. It had been sealed off years ago. Most employees didn't even know it existed. How do you know that room? I asked. She started crying. He's closer now. I can see his shadow. I stood up. Stay on the line, I said. I'm calling the police. No, she whispered quickly. Please don't hang up. I won't. I checked the caller ID. My hands went numb. Extension 09. That line had been dead for years. Permanently disabled. Ma'am, what's your name? Emily. The name hit me hard. There was a plaque in the break room. Former employees. One name never had an end date. Emily R. How long have you been there? I asked. Silence. Then I never left. A sound came through the line. Dragging footsteps. Slow, heavy. He's right outside now, she whispered. He's smiling. I turned toward the hallway leading to the sealed wing. The exit sign flickered. Is there another way out? I asked. There used to be, she said, but it's gone. The footsteps got louder. He knows you can hear me. My monitor flickered. One security feed turned on by itself. A grainy hallway. At the end, a door. Under it, a shadow. Perfectly still. The call ended. The screen went blank. I called the police anyway. They searched everything. No intruder, no unlocked doors. No signs of anyone. One officer stayed behind. Did she sound young? He asked. Yes. He sighed. Emily was 22, he said. Her last call came in at 3:14 a.m. I quit that job the next morning. I never went back. The building was sold a few months later, renovated, and reopened under a different name. People work there now. They don't know what used to be sealed behind those walls. I worked the overnight shift at a roadside motel in northern Arizona. It wasn't the kind of place people stayed because they wanted to. It was the kind of place you stopped at because you were too tired to keep driving, or because your car wouldn't make it to the next town. 2 floors, 32 rooms, one flickering neon sign that buzzed all night like an insect trapped in glass. I was 26 at the time, recently moved, low on money, and desperate enough to take a job that everyone else seemed eager to quit. The owner, a man named Carl, hired me on the spot. No interview, no background check. He just slid a clipboard across the counter and said, "You'll be alone after 10 p.m. Phones, front desk, coffee, and don't go looking for trouble." I remember laughing a little when he said that. I wouldn't laugh now. My shift ran from 10 p.m. to 6 a.m. in the morning, the hours where the world feels thin, where even normal sounds feel out of place. Most nights were painfully quiet. A trucker here, a couple passing through there, keys sliding across the counter, receipts printing, the hum of the soda machine behind me. I spent most of my time watching the security monitors, grainy black and white feeds, parking lot, stairwells, hallways on both floors. That's how I first noticed room 23. It wasn't anything dramatic, just a detail that didn't sit right. On the reservation screen behind the desk, every room had a status. Vacant, OCCUPI, needs cleaning. Room 23 always said OCCUPI, every night, every shift. At first I assumed it was just a long-term guest. People stayed weeks sometimes. Construction workers, divorce situations, folks who didn't ask questions and didn't want to be asked any either. But after a while I realized something strange. I had never seen anyone go into room 23. Never seen a car park in front of it. Never handed out a key for it. Never heard footsteps in that hallway when the cameras were quiet. I checked the guest log. Room 23 wasn't listed. No name, no ID, no payment, just there. I asked Carl about it one morning when he came in around 8 a.m. He was pouring himself bad coffee, not even looking at me. "Room 23, he repeated. Then he paused, just for a second. "Don't worry about that room," he said. "It's not in rotation." I waited for more. He didn't add anything. After that, I tried to ignore it. But the thing about night shifts is that your mind has nothing but time. And once something crawls in there, it doesn't leave. A few weeks later, something else happened. Around 2 a.m., the desk phone rang. That alone wasn't unusual. Late check-ins happened. I picked up. "Front desk," I said. Silence. I thought maybe someone had misdialed. Then I heard breathing. Slow. Close. Like someone standing right next to the receiver. "Hello?" I said. A pause. Then a voice. Soft. Dry. "I need fresh towels." I glanced at the screen. The call was coming from inside the motel. Room 23. I remember my stomach tightening. Sure," I said. "I can bring those up." Another pause. Then the voice again. "No," it said. "Just leave them outside." The line went dead. I sat there staring at the foam. My rational brain kicked in. Okay, so someone was in there. Maybe they just kept to themselves. Maybe Carl forgot to log them. Maybe it was some weird system glitch. I grabbed a stack of towels anyway. As I walked toward the stairwell, the motel felt different, quieter. Even the vending machine seemed to stop humming. The hallway on the second floor was dim. Only every other light worked. Room 23 was at the far end. The door was closed. The "Do Not Disturb" sign hung on the handle. It looked old, faded, like it had been there a long time. I set the towels down. Knocked once. No response. I left. When I checked the cameras later, I didn't see the door open. The towels were gone by morning. After that, the calls started happening more often. Always after midnight. Always from room 23. Sometimes it was towels. Sometimes it was soap. Once it asked for an extra blanket. The voice never changed. Never sounded tired. Never annoyed. Just empty. I noticed something else too. Housekeeping refused to service the room. I asked Maria, one of the cleaners, why. She crossed herself before answering. That room stays locked, she said, and I don't get paid enough to unlock it. When I told Carl about the calls, his face went tight. Don't answer after 3 a.m., he said, and don't send anyone up there. What if they need something? I asked. They don't, he replied. That night, the phone rang at 3:15 a.m. I didn't answer. It rang again and again. Finally, the lobby lights flickered, the security monitors blinked, and on the screen showing the second-floor hallway, I saw the door to room 23 slowly open. Just a crack. Nothing came out. The door stayed that way until morning. After that, I started bringing a flashlight to the desk. I started locking the lobby doors earlier, and I started counting the nights until I could quit. The final night came in late October, stormy, wind rattling the windows, rain tapping the roof like fingernails. At 2:47 a.m., the phone rang. I picked it up before I could stop myself. "Front desk," I said. Silence. Then the voice. "I think someone is outside my door." Cold ran through me. "You want me to call the police?" I asked. "No," it said. "They won't find anything." The call ended. Every camera on the monitor went to static. Except one. Room 23's hallway. The door was open, and the "Do Not Disturb" sign was lying on the floor, facing the camera. I don't remember leaving the desk. I just remember standing in front of that door. The room was dark, empty, no bed, no furniture, no carpet, just bare concrete and a phone on the floor. Still off the hook. I quit the next morning. Carl didn't argue. The motel shut down 6 months later. Fire inspectors found nothing wrong. Police found no records, no missing persons tied to the room. To this day, room 23 doesn't exist in any official paperwork.